Please welcome Lysander Selvig.
Hello, my name's Lysander. I'm actually no longer at the University of Oregon. I decided to return to Grants Pass, which is in Southern Oregon, and I now work at a middle school, and I'm trying to get my little middle schoolers to get into poetry as well, but they're like 12 and they are not interested, so we'll see. First I wanted to say that Miss Rood, or Jennifer as you know her, but to me it's weird to call her by her first name. She has been such an inspiration to me. She has been my high school English teacher for 3 years, all 3 years of my high school career. And before I met her, I was not interested in poetry. I hadn't written a single poem except for class assignments. I didn't read poetry. I thought it was kind of boring. But after Miss Rood started introducing us to new poetry, poetry that wasn't just what was fed to us as elementary schoolers, I realized the beauty in it. And she read a poem every day, and I have to say that I had only heard 2 of her poems in the past, and over those 3 years. And I had heard the one about the foster child, and I had heard Hope. And those stuck with me personally, and it's just such a treat to be able to hear her poetry after so long of her being such an inspiration to me. So this first poem is the first poem I ever wrote that wasn't for a class assignment. And people still say it is the best one I have written. So we'll see if I peeped too early. This is called Flavors. The world is a variety. Sweet, sour, spicy, bland. We all have our flavors. Some flavors more popular than others, but all are necessary to the palate of life. Sweet, the one everyone trusts and loves. Her smile is as warm as her cookies. Her words as soft as a feather. She is sweet, and sweet is good. Sour, the boy who dreams of more but expects nothing. He sees the world as it is, and as a bluntly honest man, he has despisers. But there are many who love him just the same. He is sour, and sour is good. Spicy, the woman who doesn't care what others think. She has the confidence of a show horse and an attitude that refuses to cease. She is fun, sexy, and her fans number in thousands. She is spicy, and spicy is good. And then there is me, bland. I am boring. I have no witty remarks, no sweet words. I am neither loved nor hated. In fact, no one spares me a second thought. I am bland, and bland is not good. I may not have anyone who loves me like sweet, sour, or spicy, but I am just as important as any. I deserve my life just as much as them, and I am just as good a flavor. All I need is someone who can taste me and say, this is what I was looking for. Then I will finally know that my life is worth something more. I am bland, and I know in the future I will be good. This next poem was inspired by an old friend of mine. Her name was Shivani, and that's the title of this poem. First, a shape, a circle, then an oval. Longer, thinner ovals spurred out, 4 of them in perfect order. Thousands of tiny strings grow from the circle as the details begin to form. A large bump, slowly taking the shape of a human nose. Large balls on the ends of long, thin ovals forming feet, hands, even fingers. A human body, a beautiful woman, is created out of water in a matter of moments. The river herself personified as she steps out of the water of what had been her body and takes physical form. Her long, soaking hair is dark brown, and her eyes a sparkling blue. She is a sight to behold for any passerby, yet no one sees her. With the fairies she dances, with the mermaids she has birthed she sings. Her hair grows every time she smiles, and within minutes it is down to the grass, hiding her nude form and swinging around her like the waves and ripples that she had created, yet no one sees her. Once she has had her fun, she returns to the waves, calling goodbye to her friends, her beautiful children, but they all know that it's not really goodbye, as she turns back into river water, and no one saw her. this next poem is called Reincarnation. It is pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just let you listen to it and form your own opinions. When I was born, my heart was a flower, bright and blooming. Its innocent, pure white petals tinged with soft pink. When I met her, my petals turned red, thriving and growing stronger, until she left, and my petals wilted and fell to the ground. My blossom grew again, stronger than before, only to turn blue when I met him. And yet again, he left, and the petals wilted and fell to the ground. This time, I was sure that my flower would never regrow. But it did, this time meek and weak, the petals pure black, and I knew that I would not let anyone touch it again. But then I met you, and my petals turned pink. This one is called Unimpressed, and it was dedicated to a friend who didn't see me as her friend. So I think we all know how that kind of unreciprocated friendship kind of feels. I'll build a new world for you. One with no hatred, no sadness, where trees are made from cotton and the sky is stained your favorite color, pink. I'll rebuild myself, this time with green eyes and blonde hair, D-cup, because I know that's your favorite. I'll change everything. I'll erase my faults, turn myself into giggling perfection, and I'll finally be everything you want, everything you deserve. I'll grab the universe by its throat, force it to give you whatever you want. I'll wave my hands and the clouds will have ladders hanging from them so that we can climb up together and sit side by side. I will rest my head on your shoulder and point out the fireflies far below, the people who look like ants, and with another wave the people are all gone, so that it's just you and me, the way it's meant to be. Every day will be a surprise. I will make every moment special. I will decorate walls with waterfalls and beds with orchids. Tiny balls of fire will dance around our heads, blessing us with kisses that will leave us burnt, but smiling. And after I have changed the universe and myself, there's no doubt in my mind that still you will be unimpressed. I am mostly doing short poems, as you can see, and this one is no exception. This one I wrote just as a whim, and I liked it a lot. Doesn't seem to have caught the attention of anyone else, but I like it a lot, so that's what matters. This is called Plip, Plip, Plop. Plip, plip, plop. A single round stone skips across the top of the water, clearer than my own intentions. Plip, 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 plop. Another one follows, this time skipping once more. This is how we all go, one at a time across the river, desperately trying to skip all the way to the other side, only for the plips to stop and the plop to mark our end as we fail and sink into the depths. Every once in a while, plip, 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 thud. I have made it. My stone reaches the opposite bank and I feel it well up deep in my chest, joy and pride, until someone on the other side picks up my stone and throws it back. These ones are so new that they are not even on paper, so I have to go to my phone. Now this is a poem called I Forgot How to Love If It's Not With You. It's more of a performance piece. It's based around a friend. I forgot how to love if it's not with you. Trust me, I've tried. I've read the romance novels. I know that feeling exists because I have felt it before. But in all this time between us, I fear I'll never feel it again. You keep my heart with you in a wooden box. Nothing special. You keep it with the other hearts you've collected over the years. And you don't even think about it when you pass by it every morning on your way to shower. You don't spare me a second thought. And in many ways, I have forgotten about you myself. I've forgotten your favorite music, the color of your eyes, what your cat's name is. But there you are, keeping my heart for yourself, even though it means nothing to you. Without my heart, I am nothing. I have been numb ever since I gave my heart to you, and you so cruelly kept it even after you left. Without my heart, I cannot feel the love I so desperately wish to feel. I can feel no affection, no longing. I can't even develop a simple crush. I have forgotten what love feels like. Sometimes, when I see you, I am reminded. Among all the pain, sorrow, and anger, I will not forget that you own my heart, and I remember just barely what I used to feel for you, what I could so easily feel for you again if you gave me the chance. I've forgotten how to love if it's not with you, and I mourn the loss of my heart every day. I pretend to love. I mimic, like a mockingbird, how those in love should be. I am a master actor on the stage of my relationships. I fooled all of them into thinking that I loved them, but I did not. I could not, because you kept my heart locked in that wooden box. Do you even know you own my heart? That you have ruined me, made me unloving and unlovable? I see you, hear you laugh and smile, and I wonder how someone who has destroyed me is allowed to feel such mirth. I watch you collect others' hearts like shells on the beach, only to lock them away and never glance at them again. But never once have I seen you give your heart to someone else. You are a collector, perhaps the best in the world, and you have left a wake of pain behind you. I wonder if you even realize it. If you know how much agony you have caused not just me, but everyone who has ever offered you their bleeding, pumping heart. I don't think you do, because I know you, and you are not evil. You are just naive, too young and too pure to know better. I pray that you will return to me and offer up your own heart, not so that we can fulfill each other, but so that we can destroy each other. So that I can take it, lock it away, and keep it forever like you have with mine. I've forgotten how to love if it's not with you. And someday, just maybe, you'll forget how to love if it's not with me. Right, this next poem is a little slightly political, maybe. I have been reading a lot on toxic masculinity and how we treat our young boys and how we show them that to be vulnerable is not to be manly and how that harms them. This is called They Listen. You tell him to be a man. You tell him his crying is girly and that girly is bad. You tell him to be strong, to not show emotion, to man up and stop being a sissy. He listens. He stops crying. He stops showing emotion. He learns that to be feminine is to be weak, and to be weak is to be worthless. Is he a man when he bottles up his feelings? Is he a man when he finally finds a manly way to express himself? Is he a man when he punches walls instead of talking about how he feels? Or perhaps he's a man when his fists turn to her. You say he was a good kid. There's nowhere he could have learned violence, though you were the one who taught him it. You filled his head with lies that he can't be vulnerable, that to be vulnerable is to be a girl, and that somehow to be a girl is to be inferior. He listens and he learns. Unfortunately, so does his little sister. She learns that she should be ashamed of her femininity, that to be worth anything in this world she has to give it up. She tells you she hates the color pink. She throws away her dresses. She pretends she never wanted to be a princess. She starts to play sports, hoping it will make her masculine enough to be good enough for you. It's not. He grows up only allowing himself to show anger. Is it any wonder he turns to violence? She grows up hating femininity and resenting her gender. Is it any wonder she hates herself? You wonder why people grow up to be so damaged. You are the one teaching them. Be careful what you say to your children. They listen. This one is another short one. It's my last one because I don't have very many poems. But it is pretty self-explanatory. It is called Queer. If you can't tell from looking at me, I am queer. Queer is an interesting word, actually. Depending on who uses it and how it is used, it can have different meanings. Some people use it simply to mean odd, not relating to LGBT at all. Others use it in a hateful sense, giving it poison and bite. And the rest, like me, use it simply as a word of description. No, not just a description. It is a word of power, no matter who uses it. In my case, the power behind the word is good. It makes me strong. It shows that I am who I am, and I am proud to be me. It is a word of pride, of strength, of love, of resistance against the norm and against the hatred and oppression that I and people like me have faced for centuries. I am queer, and in this time of struggle, of political unrest and fear for what comes next, I've never been so proud to be who I am. sounds so great.
Thank you so much, Lysander. Let's give him another hand. That was great. You know, a lot of poetry readings, they discourage clapping, but when we started this series about 2.5 years ago, we took a count of hands, and we decided that we were just going to allow people to feel whatever they felt. If they want to applaud, they can applaud. So applauding is freely done here, and we like it. So let's see. Let's take a short break, about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back for the open mic. They are having a special on cheesecake over there, they asked us to tell you. So I would say again, please help to support our event by supporting Barnes Noble.